was done, I changed all my passwords, email, bank, everything. I also removed anyone connected to my family from all my social media platforms. I knew my mother had hacked into my Google Drive months ago. She once made a comment referencing something I'd never shared out loud. So I created a fake Google Doc titled Breakdown Journal. I filled it with made-up entries, crying fits, imagined suicidal thoughts, hallucinations. It was all fake, but it sounded real enough to someone who wanted it to be true. I changed the privacy settings to anyone with the link and emailed it to myself, knowing it would show up in her access history. 4 days later, my aunt called me out of the blue. I didn't answer, but her voicemail started with, "Hey sweetheart, I heard what you've been going through. I just want you to know that we love you." She referenced what happened last weekend and told me not to do anything drastic. There had been no weekend incident. I saved the voicemail, timestamped it, and added it to the folder. At this point, I had enough to meet with a lawyer. I printed everything, emails, texts, voicemails, the Nest Cam video, the fake journal trap, the therapist letters. The folder was 3 inches thick. I walked into the lawyer's office and laid it all out. He looked through it silently, reading and skimming as he organized the pages. After half an hour, he looked up and said, "You're not just documenting harassment. This is defamation. If they've cost you job opportunities, and you can prove it, you have a case." He advised we start by sending a cease and desist letter to my parents and my older brother. Something formal and serious. Not as a scare tactic, but as a warning shot. A way to make it clear that if they didn't stop, the next step would be court. That night I went home and added one more document to the folder. A short note with today's date, clipped to the front. This is how you dismantle a lie. The cease and desist letters went out on a Wednesday morning. One to my mother, one to my father, and one to my older brother. Each envelope carried a direct legal warning. Stop the defamation, or we pursue legal action. My lawyer sent them via registered mail, so there'd be no denying they received it. 2 days later, I got a voicemail from my father. He didn't mention the letter. He just asked me to stop acting out and claimed they never said anything like that. He ended with, "We're still your parents." Try to remember that. I saved the message, labeled it, and forwarded it to my lawyer. I wanted to test something next, not out of curiosity, but strategy. I created a private Reddit burner account, completely anonymous, and posted a vague, fictionalized version of what was happening. No names, no locations, no family details, just a broad outline. 3 days later, my cousin texted me, furious. She accused me of dragging the family through the mud for internet attention. I hadn't told anyone about the post. She had to have been watching, searching. It proved what I suspected. They were monitoring me online. I added the screenshot of her message to the folder. That same week, I drafted a long email to the company where my mother had tanked my job opportunity. I attached the therapist's wellness statement, detailed the sabotage, and included 2 screenshots of my mother referencing the incident in messages to others. A day later, someone from the firm reached out. They apologized, said they'd made a mistake, invited me to re-interview. I did. I didn't accept the job, I had something better lined up, but the apology alone felt like recovery. I started uploading everything to encrypted cloud storage, emails, audio files, footage, call logs, voicemails. My lawyer helped set up a timed release option. If I didn't manually delay it every 30 days, the entire archive would email itself to a list of safe recipients. My therapist, my lawyer, 3 people I trusted fully. It wasn't a threat, it was insurance. The next move came from inside. I confronted my cousin face to face. We met in a parking lot halfway between our cities. I brought a printed stack of screenshots and audio transcripts. She flipped through them slowly, not saying much.